Hello everyone. Now we will be covering chapter 3, which is political economy and economic development. So what are our learning objectives for this week? First, to explain what determines the level of economic development of a nation. Identify the micropolitical and economic changes occurring worldwide. And explain the implications for management practice of national differences in political economy. So, let's start by difference in economic development. Firstly, we have gross national income, which is a measure for us that we can compare the different nations and different countries, which measures the total annual income received by residents of a nation. So, as individual wise, the money, the salary you will get in a year. We have also gross domestic product. It is the value of a country's overall output within a year, to what extent they produce goods and services, and they cover the fiscal period, and they exclude the net income from abroad. We have also purchasing power parity, which is price relatives that show the ratio of the prices in national currencies of the same good or service in different countries, to what extent we can buy the products if we were in another country. And we have also Human Development Index, which measures the quality of human life in different nations based on three measures: life expectancy, birth, educational attainment, and whether incomes are sufficient to meet the basic needs of a life within a country. So if we look at the political economy and economic progress, we can see that innovation and entrepreneurship are the engines of growth. A nice word, innovation, but what does this mean? So if we look at discovery is a new addition to a knowledge. We have invention, which is a new device or a new process, like online learning, recording. These are new processes when we look back in time. And innovation is doing things better way of doing things. So if we give an example, discoveries in microelectronics led to the computer being invented. Software like spreadsheets or PowerPoint is an invention. And using these spreadsheets or using the PowerPoint to plan office workload or to prepare a presentation is an innovation. So we can look at top 5 innovations to make it more easy and understandable for you. Internet, broadband, www, World Wide Web is the first one. PC and laptop computers is the second one as importance. Mobile phones, as we already use and we are addicted nowadays. Emails, which make it easier to communicate within the rest of the world. And DNA testing, which can allows us to map out our genes, and this is according to Forbes. So you can check it out. There are more, top innovations within that website. So when there is innovation, there is new ideas, and new idea generation requires protection of intellectual property. So what is intellectual property then? It refers to property that is the product of an intellectual activity, such as computer software, a screenplay, a music score, or the chemical formula for a drug. So these kind of things are intellectual property and they need to be protected. So patents, copyrights, trademarks establish ownership rights over intellectual property. A patent grants the investor of a new product or possesses exclusive rights for a defined period to the manufacturer, use, or sell that invention. So when they got the patent, they become able to sell those products. We have copyrights, are the exclusive legal rights of authors, composers, playwrights, artists, and publishers to publish and disperse their work as they see fit. So if you are an author and you have a book, you just meet with a publisher and then you give all your copyrights to that publishing agency and they publish your articles or books in the name of you within the permission you give them, and they got only copyright to produce these resources. Trademarks, we got many brands like Starbucks is a trademark, are design and names often officially registered by which merchants or manufacturers designate and differentiate their products. So you can tell the difference between Starbucks and Costa because they are different trademarks. Even we can tell it within the logos of themselves. Okay, in the high technology, knowledge economy of the 21st century, you know we live in a knowledge society nowadays, intellectual property has become an increasingly important source of economic value for business. So, therefore, protecting intellectual property has also become increasingly problematic, particularly if it can be rendered in a digital form and then copied and distributed at very low cost over the internet. So consider that we are having these lectures on the internet, and you have some fees, you pay for your fees, and you get your education via our platform. What will happen if someone get these videos and start to publish them as their videos and they get money? So these are the things coming into the mind when we talk about intellectual property and when the things are on the internet. So innovations are started by entrepreneurs. So who are entrepreneurs then? They are business people. Main idea behind it to make profit, and they are responsible for taking risk and forming a business normally from scratch to provide goods and services for the community needs. So they aim to provide goods which will be demanded, which will be needed for the community. They start business from zero, and one of the main stimulus are profits and customer satisfaction. Make customers happy about their products. Sometimes they have success in starting and operating business. However, many times they can fail when the revenues are less than expenditure, and they mostly like to fail because they try something new. And when you are dealing with new, there is uncertainty, so you don't know what will happen. So it's more like that you will do some mistakes and you will fail as an entrepreneur. You can check out all the famous entrepreneurs fail several times, but when they become successful, they made it perfectly. So if we look at characteristics of an entrepreneur, firstly, being own boss. So they do not like to work for someone else, and they prefer being their own ones. They are confident people. They have self-confidence that they believe I can make this happen. As we already talked, they are in a new era. They don't know what's going on, so there needs to be tolerance for ambiguity. They need to be creative, find out something new that people will demand, like these iPads. They weren't existing before, but Steve Jobs was one of the best entrepreneurs during his time, and he said, okay, I want a phone, I want a device with touchmatic capabilities. They are optimists. They believe that they will achieve things. They are visionary, got a nice vision. They got the need to achieve, so they know that, okay, I can achieve it and I need to achieve it. And we already mentioned about failure. They need to be tolerated for the failure because they will try and fail, but when you win, when you success, it will be real success. They go high energy level, every time energetic, ready to do anything, and internal locus of control. So they believe that they can change their life. So they have internal locus of control. They are responsible for their life and the things happening to their life. Okay, so what makes it easier for us that international business, international trade started to occur, and the week before we talk about the foreign direct investment. So how, or multinationals, how these things happen? So in simple terms, how a device can now be transferred to another country. So this is called deregulation. So it involves removing legal restriction to the free play of markets, free trading of goods, the establishment of private enterprises, and the manner in which private enterprises operate. So if I have a company, and if there is deregulation, I can set my company in another country and operate by my means, by my management style. So now we have a video which explains that deregulation happened in UK.
It was extraordinary. I mean, it really was life-changing. Previous day, one had had thousands of people walking across the market floor, huge noise. You walk in on the Monday morning, and the traded options market was just on its own, and the rest of the stock exchange floor was like a ghost town.
There is a direct line of causation from Big Bang in '86, because pre-Big Bang, we took the risk ourselves with our own partnership money. Post-Big Bang, we were now taking risk with somebody else's money. And so the risk could be built up, someone else was going to be responsible for it.
So as we saw at the video, there was the deregulation of the London Stock Exchange, and it suddenly created big bang effect. So investors from rest of the world started to invest in London shares of the London companies. They buy investment, buy shares, and when they did it, as it's called big bang, the country had real income, increase in income because of the share of assets, and their economy strengthened. Okay, we have another term called privatization. So transferring the ownership of the state property into hands of private sector, private individuals, frequently by the sale of the state assets through an auction. So if you're up for a, like in Cyprus we have airport, which is privatized a couple years ago. So all the assets of the airport sold to the private company. Recognize this lady? Probably yes, probably no if you are young. So Margaret Thatcher, she used to be Prime Minister of United Kingdom, and she initiated the privatization boom, which was copied around the world. So it is called privatization revolution. So it started by British Petroleum by 1979 and carried by Aerospace, Cable and Wireless, International Company, National Freight Corporation, Brit Oil, British Ports, Enterprise Oil, Jaguar, the famous car, British Telecommunications, Shipbuilders, Gas, Airways. Probably you fly with British Airways before. It used to be state-owned, but nowadays privatized. Rolls-Royce, BAA is the airports of the Britain. British Steel, water, utilities, and electricity, and you can read about more in this link if you want. These all privatized in 10 years time, in 12 years time, and the ownership has been gone from public to private sector. So what are the benefits? If we have a business, we need to have some benefits if you like to have a play on international ground. So what as a company can have benefit if I decided to move, either buying sales or if I decide to have another company in that region. So we have first mover advantage, and the advantages are accurate to the early entrance in the market. So if I am a shoe manufacturer within a country where there is less availability of shoe producers, yes, I will do the first one, and then people will demand my product. And we have late mover disadvantage are the handicaps that the late entrants might suffer. So consider there are 10 coffee shops within your city. If I decide to open a coffee shop there, probably you will be loyal to another company. They will have good marketing budget or good marketing awareness, brand awareness. So citizens might be reluctant to visit my coffee shop, and it is called late mover disadvantage. And there are some risks that we need to consider. Political risk, the likelihood that political forces will cause drastic changes in country's business environment that adversely affect the profit and other goals of a business enterprise. Think about Brexit. When the Brexit happens, all of the US based or European based companies decided to move out, or the Scottish referendum. They said that if you say yes within the referendum, the European banks and the other companies, the large companies, will move their branches to another country. Economic risk, the likelihood that economic mismanagement will cause drastic changes in a country's business environment. They hurt the profit and other goals of a business. So in case anything happens economical wise, what will cause effect for our company? And legal risk can be defined as the likelihood that a trading partner will using the opportunist way, break a contract or expropriate our property rights. So if you are dealing with a partner in that country, what will happen if they find out something they can be disadvantage for you on the legal sense? So then we have overall attractiveness. So if you look at our benefits, the cost that we will be used for the setting up the company, the other costs, and the risk. If the costs and risks are lesser than the benefits, in other words, if the benefits are higher than the costs and risks, then we can tell that it's attractive and we can move in that country. So what we have today, we'll check out the deregulation, privatization. We look at the innovations and entrepreneurs, which are engines for economic development. And we see that the risk and cost affects the attractiveness of a country. In case of any questions, either we will have session on the online platform or anytime you can send me email from the email address provided. See you next week.